I think we can all agree that the cubing community is incredibly kind, cooperative, and relatively drama-free. I'm about to change that. You see, this is all too boring. I want drama. I want tension. I want the delegates of my next WCA competition to operate the joint like a Waffle House at 3 a.m. Just imagine what it'd be like. Sorry, big guy. But that's gonna be a +2, +2, +2, +2. Hey man, I'm not sure what you're seeing, but that last layer, it is clearly turned less than 45 degrees. Listen partner, I don't make the rules, but from this angle it's clear, clear, clear. It's a +2, buddy. You know what? I think I know how we can settle this. Anyways, so I assumed you've guessed what's going on today, and this is big news. Today, we've got a bit of a competition, a smackdown, a gladiator match between the signature cubes of two of the most legendary YouTube cubers out there, and I think these guys are ready for their proper introductions. Representing Speed Cube Shop, we have Perm's Custom 2020 RS3M. This puzzle is set up to mimic Perm's own main. The core of this cube is looped with Speed Cube Shop's own lunar compound to speed up turning and reduce spring noise. Lunar has also been used on the pieces in conjunction with weight 1 to achieve a very fast, creamy, yet manageable feel. But how manageable is this feel compared to our other competitor? Representing thecubicle.com is Cubehead's Yoo Cube Eco. Like Perm's cube, the Yoo Cube is a 2020 Moyu RS3M professionally set up with Cubehead's preferred configuration. The puzzle utilizes the cubicle's own weight 5 lube on the core to slow turning up a bit to provide for better control. The pieces are lubed with a combination of weight 5, Angstrom Dignitas, Cubicle Labs Mystic, and D&M 37 to speed up turning and make for a smooth, gliding feel. Alright, so before we get into the nitty-gritty and unbox these things, I want to address the elephant in the room. That is that I don't have the standard, flagship, whatever, Yoo Cube. I have the Yoo Cube Eco. So the reason for that is Cubehead's OG Yoo Cube is made out of a Waylong WRM 2021, and it is certainly beyond my price range, and I'm sure most people's price ranges out there, which is why they came out with this one, which, just like the Perm cube, is made out of a 2020 Moyu RS3M. As a result, both of these cubes are pretty much the exact same price. And yes, I know the Perm cube also comes in the Waylong variant. Also, by having both of these cubes be 2020 RS3Ms, they get to compete with someone else. And here he is, my current main. Good old factory stock RS3M with some good old D&M 37 in it. I should also mention that the Yoo Cube also has D&M 37 in it on the pieces. So out of both of these, I assume the Yoo Cube is going to feel most similar to my current main. We'll see. There's a big prize involved with this because if either of these turn out to be better than my current main here, aka the Conch Cube, whoever ends up as the winner gets to become my new main. Big stakes, I know, big stakes. Alrighty, let's actually get to opening these bad boys up and comparing them. I'm gonna start with Cubehead's Yoo Cube first, then go on to Perm, just because of the fact that it is closest to my current main. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. We got a funky business card. It's got like that nice urban chalk hipster coffee shop look to it. Y'all like that? Thanks for buying my favorite cube. You're welcome. And yeah, I think we all know what these are. Every cube comes with this now, a bunch of adjusters and different trinkets to to adjust your spring tensions and your screws and your whatnots. I believe the tensions on this thing comes like medium. I guess we'll find out. Alrighty. Ooh, oh, that's kind of cool. Oh man, look at this funky, luxurious gold cubicle stand. That's pretty cool. Also a pretty cool bag. Got the Yo, got the Cube head tag on it. Okay, let's crack her open. And they're spoiling us. It even comes with an extra out of focus logo if you want that. Oh, it even comes with a scramble and solve. This cube is currently set up with my PB scramble. Before looking at my solution, try it yourself and share your time on social media. Let's do it. Okie dokie. I saw blue side first, and I'm not seeing much for me. I guess cross isn't too bad. Okay. Here we go. This cube definitely feels a lot more different from my main than I thought it would. Okay. PLL I haven't learned. I know that one though. Absolutely lightning quick. Okay, so well, I guess that was first turns of this. First of all, definitely more controllable than my main, because this is just straight up just D&M in it. It's a little fast, too fast, I'd say for me, because my motor skills are subpar, but it's also what I'm used to at this point. So going to this feels super sluggish in comparison. You can definitely feel the effects of the weight 5 in there. It's far more controllable than my old reliable. However, whether the sacrifice of speed for stability is going to be good enough to reign supreme, well, we'll get to that later. But overall, pretty good so far. Now it's time for our next competitor. Now in comes the RS3M Perm edition. Now before I get into this one, I should mention that Cubehead's Yoo Cube comes from the Cubicle, which is what I've always ordered from since I started cubing, so I'm far more familiar with their signature line of lubricants than I am with Speed Cube shops, who supply Perm's line of products, and who also have really cool business cards for their lubes. So of course for this puzzle, the pieces are lubed with weight 1 and lunar. Weight 1, I assume it's similar to the Cubicle's weight 1 in terms of the lower the weight number, the faster, slicker, thinner the lubricant is. As for what lunar is, well, first of all, I have no idea because they gave me the business card for solar. I'll put a schematic on the screen now. So yeah, that's what's in here. And hopefully it's good. I assume this is going to be a bit quicker than the Yoo Cube, considering it's got weight 1 instead of weight 5. Okay, so of course we got the nice Perm logo on there. I can feel the lube on the outside and even see it if I get it on the light correctly. There you go. That looks nice. Usually wipe it off just like this, and it's fine. Okay, now getting into first turns. This better be good. Okay, pretty good so far. I guess we gotta do a Perm, don't we? Nice. Okay, hopefully I can at least get a sub 20 with this thing. Well, I guess there we go. At least I'm consistent right now. Okay, right off the bat, comparing it to the Yoo Cube, let's see. Interesting. So my original assumption was that the Yoo Cube was going to be most similar to my current main, considering the fact that both the Yoo Cube and my main use DNN37 on the pieces. However, I think the weight 5 in the Yoo Cube slows it down just so much that it feels so much more different. And for some reason, the Perm Cube feels more similar to my current main. I think the weight 1 and whatever concoction the lunar is really helps to maintain speed. So right now, first impressions, Yoo Cube, it feels sluggish. It feels good, but it feels heavy, almost heavier than the Perm Cube. Both of them turn super great and smooth, but because Perm's feels just a bit slicker and more similar to my current main, I'm leaning more toward Perm than Cubehead's Yo right now. But first impressions only get you so far. Oh yeah, you bet. This is big. This is serious. For each of these, I'm going to go off and do an average of 100. We're going to get the average from all of those. We're going to compare them, and we're going to see which cube reigns supreme. Now, if Full Reliable comes out on top, that might be a bit embarrassing, because this thing only costs like $9 now, and both of these cost around 25. So y'all better do good. And again, whoever wins gets the privilege of becoming my new main 3x3. So, big stakes. Big stakes. Let's get off to it. Alrighty, so we're going to start this off with a sort of control test. All Reliable here has already gone through the gauntlet of average of 100 and has gotten an average time of 17.32 seconds. That is not bad for me. So this time here will serve as the bar for which these two are competing against. Now I'm assuming based off first impressions just how controllable these two are in comparison. I assume they'll do at least a little better, but only time will tell. Let's get to it. Alrighty, now we're getting into the main event, and first up on the docket we have the Perm cube. Now we're doing this one first because it's most similar to my current main, so it should kind of ease me into Cubehead's Yoo Cube later on. So that way we should have a bit of a more equal match between the two. Alright, let's get to it. So the Perm RS3M, how did it perform throughout the marathon? The first thing I want to say is this cube is pretty much ready to go right out of the box. How it felt during the first solve is pretty much how it felt during the 100th, and the feeling is pretty nice. It's especially quick and slick, really silky and creamy. I think creamy is the best way to describe it. Natively out of the box, my cube came tensioned at 6 clicks out of 8, so a little on the tighter side. I did try loosening the tensions to 4 clicks, as it's the tensions the Yoo Cube comes in, but it just became way too fast to manage. So I kept the tensions at 6 for the average of 100, which was fairly manageable, but it still proved to be a bit fast for me. I had quite a few instances of overshooting, which messed up my solves, causing me to have 16 solves go over 20 seconds. That being said, whenever I was able to keep the cube tamed and under control, it was pretty nuts. I ended up getting 2 sub-12s, which are pretty uncommon for me, with my best solve being an 11.22. I assume the lunar is what's speeding things up so much here based off of the lube's 10 out of 10 speed rating, but remember it also has like a 1 out of 10 for control, so that was definitely also a factor. Alrighty, so overall pretty impressed with Perm so far, pretty well performing, feels pretty good. Now, whether it performs better than All Reliable over here, we'll have to wait and see, because we still got our other main competitor off to the Yoo Cube, average of 100. Okay, so the Yoo Cube, it was off to a pretty strange start. The first 5 solves went pretty well as expected, but quickly the feel of the cube began to change dramatically. If you remember, the cube was pretty sluggish right out of the box. So sluggish in fact that I was a bit wary of how it would handle. However, within just the first 10 solves here, it sped up significantly. Now it's still noticeably slower, blockier, and less creamy than Perm's RS3M, and it takes a bit more force to turn, but these traits quickly turned out to be a decent advantage. I felt that I had a bit more control over the Yoo Cube when compared to the Perm. Rarely did I have any overshooting or loss of control, and I wasn't encouraged to turn so much faster than my brain can think, allowing me to utilize more effective look ahead and make smarter decisions. My solves were overall more consistent, having only 10 that went over 20 seconds. However, I also didn't have any that were particularly quick, with the fastest time of just 12.11. I think I still prefer the feel of the Perm, but during the solves it was pretty tough to notice which one was actually performing better and which one was more likely to take home the victory. Okay, so Cubehead's Yoo Cube did pretty good as well. Whether it beats out Perm or even All Reliable, well, we're about to find out right now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, out of the battle between the 3 cubes in 3rd place with an average of 17.32. You already know it, All Reliable. He put up a strong fight, but it just wasn't quite enough to beat our 2 main contenders. And now, the reason we're all here, the reason we sat through this video, which is probably way longer than it needs to be, the Yoo Cube versus Perm. Can I get a drum roll, please? There we go. Alright. I guess there we go. The victor by an absolute landslide in this heavy competition, Cubehead's Yoo Cube. Okay, quick summary. I like both of these. Both of them did better than the benchmark. but as to which one I actually enjoy the feel and solving of the most, I'd say the Perm Cube. It's a bit quicker and more what I'm used to. It feels very silky and buttery, I guess you'd say. Cubehead also feels buttery and smooth, but just not quite as slick and sleek. I do think that the weight 5 in here, although it really quickened up after 5 solves, it keeps it a little slower so that I have more time to think and not turn faster than my brain can process things. But overall, I just prefer the feel of the Perm Cube. So after all this, what have we achieved? Not much. This feels like a little bit of a hollow victory for the Yoo Cube. I have an idea. Because both of these basically tied and I'm so conflicted on which one I prefer, we're gonna have a final death match. That's right. I'm giving each of our competitors one more solve each to see who reigns supreme. No mulligans, no funny business. One solve for each of them. This is scientific. Alrighty. Perm's first up on the docket. Let's see how it performs. Alright. Alrighty. That's very average. Not too bad. Still feels great. But can it outdo the Yoo Cube? We're about to find out. Okay. Well, there you have it. Our very scientific test has decided that Cubehead's Yoo Cube reigns supreme against Perm. Even though I still like how the Perm feels a lot more. I guess I gotta keep my promise though, don't I? Yoo Cube, you're my new main. So yeah, an actual like objective comparison to these two. They're both pretty fantastic. Whether it's worth spending the extra 12, 15 bucks to get these over just a factory RS3M, it's really up to you. At the end of the day, both of these feel a lot better and are a lot more controllable than this cube could ever be with me trying to set it up. So personally, especially if you don't have like an alchemist set of lubes, I think it's worth it to get one of these. Which one you get, if you want something a bit more controllable that will give you more consistent times, Yoo Cube. If you want something quicker and slicker, the Perm Cube. Actually, you know what? Just for the heck of it, why don't we give Old Reliable a shot? Just for quality's sake. Yeah, they're better.